Yes, that's right. Get Valiant 200. A big 200. So good that we got feedback.
I thought I had it paused, trying to open the YouTube and all this other bullshit. I thought I had it paused.
Oh, my bad. What's that episode today?
It's the big 200.
Big.
We finally did it. We finally got to this momentous occasion,
Yeah, I mean, despite COVID having us go down to like one episode a month and sometimes zero and sometimes one book a month and sometimes two books and then sometimes we made it. Last 22 months have been shit, but we got it.
So. We'll get into a little bit of that stuff later, but I was just thinking, like, if it wouldn't have been for Greg Katzman, I think it would have taken us a lot longer because he kept doing like those like superhero of the week things. It's like, talk about the best stories. So it's like, there was a lot of times we didn't even get a chance to even talk about books. But that dude, we always joke that he's like the silent partner of Get Valiant, but he really kept us going with content. So thanks.
You know what? I want to give credit. That I think that was Emily, right? Emily was doing the marketing on that a lot with the Valiant Hero of the Week.
Was it Emily?
Yeah, before Emily kind of left a little bit. But I think that's to both of them. Really, they were both kind of running that a lot. So
yeah.
I think there's
a lot of. I mean, in truth, there's a lot of people we could think about. Like Matt Klein and Emily.
That's exactly where I was going too. Is just kind of running down. Getting 200, 200. What, like, come back to Hunter Goranson, right? Like, really kind of getting the marketing going with Get Valiant. I know Hunter helped get with Hoodoo TV. That was pre-Hoosier with Get Valiant, but that first rendition of the 2012 team.
Yeah, I think for us it might have been Eric and I piggybacked off of Outright Geekery's website, and we are both reviewers, writing reviewers. So we always got the copy every month. But then when I met Dinesh at Emerald City, I want to say like in 2014 or 15, like he really helped us kind of do some more. Like he was really positive about what we were doing. I've always said, if you ever meet Dinesh at a show, he'll act like you're the person that he's excited to meet and not the other way around. Even though you're like, oh, Dinesh, like you made Valiant, you do a bad idea. He would treat you the exact opposite way, where he would make it a big deal out of you, because that's what I got out of it. He took me around and introduced me to everybody at their booth. And Robert Venditti was there. He introduced me to Robert, and Robert signed a gold that we gave away on the air. And if it wasn't for Dinesh, even, like who knows where those things go, because I think sometimes it's great to see the company kind of like back us a little bit or support what we do. And I thought that very much today when they tweeted out that we were doing our 200th episode. That felt good, because you just never know sometimes how, the comic book company feels about a couple dudes just running their mouths. So
yeah, I mean, especially because we give truth and we kind of try to give it an even kill, and but actually that's embraced. Guys like Greg, who's like, hey, thanks for honest feedback, and and that's where we try to be fair with it too. So I think that's kind of one of the things that I've always appreciated that we've done is, call it what it is. We are fans, we are homers of Valiant, so we do lean on the side of liking things. But there is that, and it's been that case. So I definitely agree with you there that it's been really good with those. And then, I mean, you just think about the people with Get Valiant. I might overlap some Hoodoo stuff, but you look at some of the fun people we've had to interview with Dinesh, with Katzman, with Matthew Klein, Robert Myers, who I got to see at Emerald City. It was great seeing Robert. Emily,
Josh Dysart, Kevin Hook,
Dan Abnett,
Elliot Rahal. You know, we've had
The Bat in the Sun, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Sierra Foster and
Sean
Kevin
and
Porter.
Kevin Porter, yeah. I mean, just some really awesome people along the way that we've really got to meet and enjoy. So I think that's some of the fun things about doing that. Some of the perks, right?
Yeah.
Some of
And
the perks.
I think like the pandemic has made that part a little hard
Yeah.
because we used to do interviews quite a bit. And we haven't done any for quite a while, you know. I mean, probably not since like Matthew Klein was on or actually no, I'll take that back. Cullen Bunn, which I didn't make it out for.
Oh yes, that was a good one.
and you know, and we've also liked having the other Valiant podcasts on too, because you know we all love this community. We love the people that take part in it, and I like those podcasts too. You know, so it's like, you know, we might do this one. I'm going to turn around and listen to those other ones too. So it's like I'm glad that I'm glad things have gone the way they have. You know, and maybe once we can all get a little more convention appearances under our belts again, we can get back to doing the interviews, because I mean, I used to set up a lot of them just trying to go to shows. I haven't been anywhere for like 2 years, so we haven't really done any. Haven't done a whole lot unless they got set up for us by Valiant.
Oh, and speaking of it, right? You know, podcast. We're not that good because at least Valiant Watch gets promoted and gets hired on with Valiant. So Nick over there.
Where's my job? Where's our job at? Come on.
So I mean, we've been the C team of this, so we're okay with that. We'll be the freshman team.
Yeah, man, I like to think we're at least the B team. I mean, we've been around 5+ years. Come on,
we're just outlasting. We're just outlasting. That's all it is.
Yeah, we're just too stupid to quit.
Yep, but all the way around. And then there's those that watch, man. So we got plenty that have been on with the podcast, friends that have come about. You know, a couple of them on like right now. We got good old Todd. Yes, I name dropped you, Todd. How do you like me now? Then we got, you know, the fun ones with Scott Bloom and Jay. Yep. So, and then you know, who else? Like, dude, name it a lot. We've had a lot. So, J Rob, you know, just and sadly, right now we don't have Eric with us right now.
Yeah, you know, and we haven't had Eric for a while, and I think like really the only thing we can really say about it is that like Eric's living the best Eric life right now.
Yeah,
he's gone through he's had some changes in his personal life, and I don't think he's like sitting around being miserable. I think he's out actually like having fun, and you know, we could never Eric. I've been bugging Eric for years to meet up at a convention. When Hoosier came on here, and we've all become like really good friends. We bugged him all the time. Meet us at Emerald City. Meet us here. Nothing.
Dude, we'll fly to freaking C2E2. It's closer to you. Like, yeah.
And so like I know he just went to Vegas for like one of those playable card game conventions. I mean, he's having a lot of fun. He's trying to have the best life he can. He's just trying to do things that aren't comic related. So, you know, if he comes back, he does. If not, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed having him on, because he's a good friend of ours, and you know, he's the guy who came to me and was like, hey, we should start a podcast about Valiant. So you know, wherever he's at, I hope he's having fun.
Exactly. We love you, Eric. You're the man. And so Eric's been kind of out MIA for a while. He's always got a home, but life gets in the way sometimes and kind of affects the schedules. But we're still here for 200, and
we are.
You mentioned something really cool in some of the chats about potentially something towards the end of the episode.
Well, you know, we do these episodes like this where like it's a big occasion, and we got to give something away, you know. And I thought at first I had recently done the Valiant groupies thing, and let me tell you, they sent me a box of stuff. Not Valiant, but whoever does their store, and it was pretty underwhelming. A lot of stuff that didn't fit me. So I was like, oh, I'll just give all this stuff away, you know. But then something fell on my lap, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get rid of that. And so I recently acquired a Harbinger metal cover, pretty big variant, you know, pretty expensive book. So for 200, at the end of it, you know, we'll give one away. So if there's just a few of you guys in the chat, hey, your chances are that good. So stick around, and we'll do that.
Yep. So as long as you live in the continental United States, unless Josh has and you know what, I don't know what I'm giving away, but I might get somebody like a priority mail box filled with some knickknacks that I got along the side.
Well, and
So
I
good
thought I brought
chances.
the box out that I had that had the other stuff in it. The metal book's in a short box in my Archer's room, my 3-year-old's.
Nice.
So
I have it right. I have one too, but it's the only metal I have, so I'm keeping it. It's right there. I could grab it, but it's right there. Right there.
it's somewhere
Right there.
this way up.
Over there.
Somewhere over there.
But yeah, so definitely clue yourself in, get in, and jump in, because there might be some fun things to give away that we will have there. So cool. And lots of news, make sure you put in your chat if you want to get on this giveaway, and and let us know. So we got David here too. So David logging in from Wyoming. So David, thanks for making it in on the chat today. And then, there's been a lot going on, but not a whole lot of Valiant news besides Shadow Man 5 coming soon.
Very soon. And I haven't read it yet. Valiant was nice enough to send it to us early, but I haven't read it yet. So we'll just see when it actually comes out. So it's a little bit more fresh in my mind. The preview pages look great though. But yeah, I just haven't, I can't do it. I can't look at it yet. I feel like that's what Eric always would do. And then I'd be like, no, I got to read everything like 2 months in advance. And so now I'm like, oh, I can't read it yet. I don't know what. Damn you, Eric.
And then whoever's on Facebook, if you could put your name in there, for some reason it's not pulling up your name in the streaming site that we use here. Put that in there so I can make sure you're in there as well. Hopefully that pulled out to whoever that is. So yeah, go ahead and put your name in that comment for me, would help. But yeah, there's that. A couple pages of it. The book that we got didn't have any color, but the art, I could say the inks and the line work look great. The pencils,
they do.
So, yep.
And I can't remember Pedro Andreo. Is that who? From Bloodshot Rising Spirit artist.
Yep.
Not Rising Spirit, Bloodshot. Oh gosh, my mind's already a blank. But the last Bloodshot series, he was the artist toward the end of it, and he did great work on that book. And his Shadow Man pages look even better.
Yeah, they do look pretty damn phenomenal. So, I think it's actually really fitting within that book. So, yeah. So, yep. And so whoever that is, that's me. Let me know who your name is, or I'll just put that's me, and then it'll go to me, and Josh will send it to me.
Damn it, that would be very easy, Yep,
I'm putting that's me. So maybe I get that person's stuff. But dude, yeah. So there's not much, but I think let's okay, Tim Ford. Thank you, Tim. That helps, and we'll get that in there and go from there.
Yeah. So we'll do our reviews like we normally do, and then we'll just do the giveaway real quick and we'll call it a night. And I'll try it now. And anything that I send out, I'll try to get out so that it's to you before Christmas. So
too kind. Put
it under your tree.
But before we get any further, let's do a little bit of something we have to do. That is a spoiler alert. Spoiler warning. We're going to talk about Exo Manowar number 2. So if you haven't read it and you don't want to be spoiled, pause it, read it, come back and join us later. So,
but you had plenty of time to read it, so I hope you did.
I hope you guys did. So, as I like to do is give a little credit to whoever did the talent, whoever's getting the work done. Dennis Hopeless's writer, penciler, Emilio Lasso with Jim Toe, Rafael Forte and Jim Toe on inks, and then Ruth Redmond on colors. Hassan Ostami Alu did letters. Hassan does some great letters. He's doing so much work on like everything Valiant and almost every other book I read right now too, it seems like.
And I think he does panel by panel also, which is like a digital magazine. He's a talented dude.
Very much, and busy as hell. Raza did the A cover, variant covers by Christian Deuce, Dave Johnson, and then editor Audrey Meeker and editor Rob Levin. So, yeah, good creators on it. And then some pretty cool covers as well. I think that's one thing that I could say I've really kind of enjoyed was the covers look to be pretty darn done well the last couple books.
Yeah, I only have the A cover on this one. I've found that I moved my pull list over to another shop because I couldn't get the pre-order edition covers, and now I'm back in the same boat at that shop. I can't get the pre-order edition either.
Oh,
So
dude.
it's never easy.
Yep.
But yeah, great covers on this one all about, and we've been talking about that for like the last couple months. Like something has happened where all the covers have just really been great. Love seeing a Dave Johnson cover. I'm a big fan of his artwork.
And you know what? That's not even one of Dave's best works either. I think Dave does some amazing art. And yeah.
Man, I bet he's probably done like 20, 30 covers easily for Valiant.
Yep.
So I mean, like it's good to see that, there's still some in the system that, but like, yeah, as far as like that they go, he's done better work.
Yep. So you want to get into this story of where we're at with Arik and Shanhara and Troy Whitaker and the little boy.
Little boy Desmond. Yeah.
Desmond, yep.
Yeah. So, and in fact, this issue is mostly the Desmond and Shanhara show.
Right.
So we just had the big green nanite storm thing burst on the scene last issue, and it seemingly took out Exo Manowar and Shanhara. This issue kind of is the big explanation of everything, So if you reckon back, I think it was issue 5 when we saw Shanhara represented in like a human form. She looked a lot like Livewire even.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of weird if we weren't going to get anything else about it. And then we did with this issue where, again, like Shanhara and Desmond, this little 13-year-old kid, kind of explain everything that's happened. Like Shanhara kind of reveals all of her cards to this kid while at the same time trying to find out where Arik is. And at the same time, you find out how much she knows about Troy Whitaker's his little side of this whole thing. He's responsible for everything else. So it seems like him trying to copy Shanhara just didn't quite have the same effects. All he could really do was kind of lock her up of sorts. But then you go into like some of these real world things where Troy Whitaker's kind of putting everybody in line and to teach them things and do some other weird stuff. I don't know too much about that part. It didn't seem like that part was fleshed out enough for me to really understand it too much.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just trying to decode Shanhara and basically copy the code over, and so it was, oh man, yeah, I think exactly what you said with the plot is what it is, and I think I've kind of put my thumb on where I feel about it, that this story is a plot story, and it's so heavy on plot and very lacking on character. It's letting the plot kind of just take over everything, and everything are pieces to the plot versus the character. And that's why I feel like characters don't have their normal voices that I have seen with Arik in the past. Feels like Desmond is just a plot ploy like piece there, like was thrown in as this, okay, you're watching this kid and it was needed to be a plot ploy. And holy Nikes, Eric's here. So
yay!
So number 200. Thank you for making it, Eric. But yeah, I feel like it's a plot ploy, and I don't feel like it's within within the characters. So, and that's where a lot of it feels. And so when I think about that, like plot may be pretty good on this story, and I think but that's where I could see where it's missing. It doesn't sound like them. So,
yeah, I thought that having like the little boy kind of be like the side piece to Shanhara was a really weird touch. But I also think like we're wrapping up the storyline on issue 9. So there's things that have to get moved into motion a little bit faster than probably normal. And, I mean, it is what it is. At the very end of this, I thought was like the thing I thought in a way we had seen since issue 1, which is basically like, we finally see like the final form of Troy Whitaker. He's got his own little weird looking exosuit. Yeah, this story can't be over soon enough. I kind of feel just because I feel like from like day one you knew he was going to be the bad guy, and they kind of they kind of fool you a little bit with it. Dennis Hopeless' story just kind of makes you feel like, okay, maybe he's good. Maybe he's just like a really eccentric billionaire guy. But no, you just kind of knew he was bad.
Yep.
And I like that you get to see this kid ponder his orb a little bit right here, with his blue.
Amazon Echo Ball.
Well, have you seen that meme that's popped up, Hoosier?
I think I made it.
I know Eric has.
I'm very well familiar with the orb.
Which one are you
kid's
talking
pondering
about?
his orb.
Oh, no, haven't seen it.
It's a great meme.
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
Nice. His blue orbs. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, Eric, what do you think about this issue?
Oh, man, guys. So I'm going to be fully transparent and honest with you guys. I have not read a comic book in so long.
I did say at the beginning that you've been living the best life now.
Yeah, I don't know about best life, but I've been living a life.
Well, good.
I don't know how deep we want to get into life updates, but life has been absolutely insane for me.
If you have like a daily journal that you could go back and start with, maybe back in like May or June, you just kind of take me through every day, dude. Like,
just all right, day one.
Yeah.
No, life's just been crazy. It's taken me a lot of different directions. But honestly, there are two really big reasons I wanted to hop on. I don't want to totally derail everything. So
you're good, man. You get to have as much time as you want.
So two big reasons I wanted to hop on and chat with you guys. Number one, I really need to keep up on comic books, especially Valiant. Valiant has consistently, I know you guys talking about this last issue of XO. I'm not surprised with the stuff that I'm hearing from you guys. It seems like some of the things that we saw coming from the very beginning have come true, with the crazy billionaire having his own agenda and all that, and still kind of in this weird spot with the kid in Shanhara and whatever. I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Harbinger. I really need to hop on that and get reading it. And but speaking of Harbinger, one of the reasons I wanted to hop on is I have gotten so much from Valiant, from the Valiant community, from you guys, and I do want to, as part of episode number 200, I'd like to give this away to someone. This is the metal variant of Harbinger number 1. I feel like I'm insanely grateful to have had the opportunity to possess one, but I think that it would make me feel even better to be able to send it to another fan who is maybe a little bit more active in the community. So definitely, people, go ahead and throw your name in the chat if that's something that you're interested in. If you'd like to get a free copy of Harbinger, I'll pay to ship it to you. I'll make sure it's nice and secure, so there's no damage to it or anything like that. We'll get it out to you and hopefully give it to a happy home.
So we're going to give away 2 of those things tonight? Damn.
We're going to give away 2 of them.
2, and then a basically blind box that I'm going to be putting together. So, and it won't suck. May not be a metal cover, but it won't suck.
That's awesome. I one of the great things that I love about both of you guys and the Valiant fandom in general is that I feel like everybody is so appreciative of the community and willing to give back to the community in whatever ways we can, and that's something that I want to do. Because I definitely, like I said, I think that there are other people who would enjoy having this cover and maybe didn't have an opportunity to get one, and I'd like to provide that opportunity for somebody. I think that'd be awesome. The other thing that I do want to say, and I definitely don't want to put a damper on anything. I think this is an amazing milestone that the podcast has reached, getting to 200 episodes. But people probably have noticed I have not been around much lately. And with me hopping on here and saying I haven't been reading comic books, I've been, life has taken me in a different direction. It's probably not going to come as a huge surprise that I have made the decision that I'm probably going to indefinitely step away from the podcast. I think that both Hoosier and Josh are amazingly capable of keeping this thing going to 300 episodes and beyond, and continuing to provide awesome content for, you know, fans of the Valiant brand. And you know, I'll still be able to join from time to time, and you know, talk about things whenever you know, something big drops. I'm sure whenever the next Bloodshot book drops, I'm gonna go rabid and have to have an outlet to talk about it. But you know, I just want to thank everybody who has supported Get Valiant from, you know, 5+ years ago when Josh and I started losing episodes and re-recording them.
I know this should have been like episode 220. Like Eric's computer ate like so many of them.
It was terrible, and I'm sure it was all my fault. So, but yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing experience to have started this, and with Josh, obviously, and be a part of the Valiant fan community. And you know, the support that we've gotten, not only from other people in the community, has been amazing, but you know, people like Greg at Valiant, past staff members who have taken time out of their busy schedules to come and chat with us, creators who've taken times out of their insanely busy schedules to come and chat with us. We've had people like Kevin Van Hook and Dinesh, and, you know, just people who are legends in the Valiant legacy, you know, come and take the time to talk with us. And that is something I am insanely grateful for, having had that experience, and the fact that this podcast and the work that Josh and Hoosier have put into it have, you know, been what made it possible for those things to become a reality. So again, you know, huge thank you to Valiant, huge thank you to the community, and especially a massive thank you to both of you guys. And the thing about it too is, like, you know, not only have you guys been such a huge resource for the podcast, but, you know, I have been going through a lot in my life in the last year, 2 years, but especially here recently in 2021, I've gone through some major changes. And, you know, both of you have been there for me every single time I've ever reached out. I'm not the best at reaching out, but every single time I have needed anything, asked for anything, and just needed somebody to listen to me rant or vent or whatever, you guys have never, ever done anything other than be 100% present and there for me as a friend. So I can't thank you enough for that.
Heck yeah, it'd be $9.99 an hour. So just send a check to.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. There was a small part of me that was like hoping that that Hoosier was going to hit the spoiler alert on your like point number 2.
Oh damn!
That would have been phenomenal. Honestly.
I don't even know how to even follow any of that up that you said, man. That was like the best talk in this podcast has seen in a long time, man. And you know, if you're not, I mean, I'm glad you got on. Like, oh, you dick!
I have to change you.
No, but you know, like, for real though, you know, like you know, I said earlier, I was like, you know, we started this thing being just the two Valiant fans at Outright Geekery.
Yeah.
And man, you know, 200 episodes is incredible. And I know we were in the middle of reviewing a book, but now we got to take a break from that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I just think, like, you know, you're a part of this no matter what. Even if you walk away, you know, I feel like you still have to be, if you ever want to come back on, you know, you're just like, you're welcome, you're family, you know.
You're like that old dude at a frat that whenever like a party happens, he could come over and just be like, "Who's that?" That's the dude on the couch. You know,
that
like,
dude's a legacy.
Yeah, exactly. That's you.
Hey, all I know is I just got compared to Stephen Wright, and that's amazing in my book.
Yeah, you're like the guy on the couch.
Yeah, that dude's amazing.
Plus, you know, I mean, let's face it, you are like the biggest Bloodshot fan there is, you know. So.
Got all my Bloodshot stuff up still. Like, I haven't been on an episode in a while, but you best believe I got all my Bloodshot stuff out. I know people can't see a lot of this stuff, but honestly, man, like some of the memories involved, like, I don't know if you can see down here, an Eternal Warrior number 4 that I got signed by Kevin Van Hook. That's phenomenal to me. This carbon fiber Bloodshot number 1 that I got.
That's the one you're giving away?
Yeah. No, I got a great memory with that one, meeting Tim Seeley and having him sign that, and same as the Virgin black and white variant there. And then, of course, this Bloodshot number 25 Brian Hitch variant that was like the most difficult comic for me to find ever. I can't tell you how hard I had to search for that, and then how hard when I found someone who had it and didn't want to sell it, how much time it took me to annoy him and wear him down to the point that he finally sold it to me.
I know. Yeah. I still need to get one. And I remember for the longest time there was a graded copy, like 9.2 or something like that. And I was like, oh, I just don't want to buy a graded copy. And I'm just like, why the hell didn't I buy it? These books don't even exist. They're so rare. The old books, they just don't exist.
Yeah.
Still got to get that DMG though.
What?
Still got to get the Chinese DMG.
Oh, why would you remind me of that?
I feel like you're okay if you don't have that one,
Yeah.
But because I feel like the thing is with those books, like they're a total sham. It was like when those things first popped up, it's like, oh, there's only like 4 copies, and then there's like always a copy every month on eBay. So it's like, I think there's more than 4.
Right.
Someone's just pulling our dicks.
There's a couple of Bloodshot USA copies actually, if we're really going to get down to it, that are the ones that are the thorns in my side.
You don't have all those?
There's Bloodshot USA number 3 and 4. The 1 in 50 variants are both impossible to find.
Don't have them.
Yep.
After I get my copies, I'll let you know.
Yeah. If you ever find 2 copies of each of them, you'll let me know.
Hey, I'm always really happy, even though this like sucked for me, like because I know you have every issue of Bloodshot Reborn. And I could have had one of those really hard to find books from New York Comic Con. And for whatever reason, I was just like, no, just give it to Eric.
It's true.
Yeah. I should have just kept it for myself, but no.
Probably should have. Although
I've never seen it, and I've never seen that either on eBay.
I probably would have burst out in tears if I didn't get that, and I would have never forgiven you. But oh no, man!
I'm holding out hope that I'll just get a full run of Shadow Man at some point. I think that's the only. Like I could find all those books. I just can't afford them all, but they exist.
At least they're out there. Because some of those old Bloodshot, old as in early VEI, some of those are so difficult to find. Yeah,
I feel like it's just like somebody's got like 50 copies at their house.
I can name a single person off the top of my head that I guarantee has at least 5 of each of them.
Yeah, I think we know the same person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, if you want your name for the drawing tonight, whichever channel you're on watching us or listening, throw it in there. You'll get more. I'll also throw in a couple more items other than just a book, since John is going to do that.
Yeah, I might be able to scrounge up something as well, but the main portion of my giveaway would be the Harbinger metal variant.
You can give away some of your cards.
Yeah.
I might send Scott Bloom a digital copy of that metal cover.
So. An NFT?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a digital copy.
Art is good for the environment, though.
Can I just withdraw my random giveaway and just send this to Scott?
That's it.
Wait, the book?
Yeah.
If you want.
We got it. Yeah, dude, Eric, glad you made it on. Glad you're here.
Yeah, I just wanted to come and hang out and, just I know I've talked to you guys for a little bit about the changes I've been going through and everything, and trying to kind of taking my life in a different direction, and just wanted to I guess at your guys' prodding do the the right thing and let people know that is a decision that I've unfortunately come to. And so I don't know. I don't want to keep you guys from, the conversation that you're having. I'm sorry that I interrupted.
No, you're here, man.
But I don't, unfortunately, at this moment, have a whole lot of constructive conversation to add. But I just wanted to stop by. Again, I legitimately almost teared up as I was talking earlier. This is kind of emotional for me, and I love both of you guys. I love the place that I've had in the Valiant fan community, the support that we've gotten as a podcast, the support people have shown to Valiant, the support we've gotten from Valiant as a company, and some of the individuals there, especially. I know I already said his name, but I think Greg doesn't get enough credit. I almost said doesn't deserve enough credit, and that's not right. He doesn't get enough credit. I think he does a lot for the company and for the fans, and maybe not everybody sees it, but he works pretty hard and does a lot. So
yeah, I'm glad you didn't cry just because I'm not there to give you a hug, man.
Virtual.
Yeah, just virtual hugs.
I got a hug in a bottle, so we're good.
We'll put it in your Mountain Dew bottle and rock out.
You best believe, man. What do you think I got sitting right over here?
Done this before.
Yeah, man. We've all been down this road. No, I don't know. I don't want to keep you guys from the conversation you're having. But I definitely would like to come back from time to time. Like I said, as soon as the next Bloodshot hits, you know that I'm going to have to be here chatting with you guys about it and geeking out on whatever that ends up being.
Sometime next year.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait for that. And hopefully we get some more, Valiant and other media as well. And as that progresses, we can hopefully have conversations about those things as well. And I also look forward to hopefully continuing the awesome friendship that I've had with both of you and other members of the Valiant community, regardless of my level of involvement in the podcast.
Hell yeah. I think that's one of the things that someone would have had to have said it. I feel like with this episode, it's just there's so many people I know that were actually just podcasters with Valiant. The dudes who did Valiant Central or Only the Valiant or Valiant Watch and or even just people that we knew from the other pages, and there's so many of them that they're not doing podcasts or they're not doing reviews that I talk to all the time. Valiant became such a crazy friendship, just because of all those kind of things.
The Valiant family for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I love both of you guys, and I hope that we have a conversation soon. If you guys ever want to hang out digitally, I'm more than down.
I'm down. I'm always down.
Let's do it. So,
yep.
And of course, you're welcome to stay on. Yeah.
We have to mute you the whole time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nothing but spoilers for when I finally do catch up.
No.
I'm gonna stop by, make my little announcement, and let you know that I am going to be giving this book away. So as long as people get their names in that giveaway, you guys let me know who ends up getting this copy of Harbinger. I'll try to see if I can find something else to sweeten the pot as well when I ship it out, and we'll get it off to some deserving fan out there.
There's got to be one out there. There's got to be. So
hopefully.
So.
All right. Well, I love you guys, and you take care.
All right, man. We love you too. We'll see you soon.
Stay valiant, everybody.
That's right.
See ya. So anyway, Exo Manowar, huh?
Exo Mana freaking War.
Let's just grade it. Let's just get the score.
I do want to bring up one thing. What was your thought about the kind of move in of Jimto in this book with the art?
It's all right, I mean, I could just see the art change, but at the same time, I feel like it was mostly just in the backstory though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's totally that thing that Valiant does from time to time, where it's main artist pushes the story, and then they're like, oh, you know what? We brought in Doug Braithwaite, we brought in Juan Jose Reap. They're gonna retell the thing that you don't know about that we need to explain.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's okay. It's good to see Jimto again. I mean, he was working on Dr. Tomorrow last I remember.
Yep.
And we like that book here.
Yep.
So glad to see he's still around. And
Yeah,
it was great. I mean, I like the fact that Sean Hara looks kind of like Livewire. I do want to say that.
I like it and I don't like it. You know what I mean? Because like it might make it confusing. Just kind of the extreme of the looks, right? But that might be a good story down the way of since Livewire jumped in the cost and in the Shanhara suit, maybe that was one of the things that's being projected, right? Is hey, I met Livewire and that's why I want to resemble Livewire. I identify as female, and I've met Livewire and I thought Livewire was great, so I want to resemble Livewire. And then maybe we see that Shanhara looks totally different in the true image of who Shanhara really is down the way. So it does open up some possibilities there as well. So I was going to say that kind of connection of Livewire with that is, I feel like Livewire would be a little bit, I guess, I don't know, smarter than Troy Whitaker to have been able to kind of see this stuff that Troy all of a sudden jumped into. So to me, it kind of comes into where like, okay, it makes it work for the plot. You know what I mean? Not necessarily character, not for continuity. So I don't know. That's kind of where I thought really was frustrating. I really liked the art that Emilio Lasso has been doing, and then the Jim Toe art is good, but it was kind of different. But I think having the Redmond colors stay consistent helped a lot. But yeah, I just want to bring in that I hope that I know I've said that before, that I thought it was weird that just some person comes in and can kind of reboot Livewire, but yet Livewire can Shanhara, but Livewire was in there and couldn't do it. So that doesn't stand with continuity for me.
Yeah, no, I am totally agreeing, especially when you look at like what Livewire's power set is, and probably when that happened in Unity, she's probably the only like character that's prominent within the Valiant universe that probably ever could communicate with the armor. Like, there's no sense of conversation at that point between Auric and the armor, just that it responded to him.
Yep.
And she probably had a way of like communicating with him and doing things. So it's just like those kind of things make sense,
Yep. So yeah, let's give it up jump up to the score. So you get us started.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, this is just such a it's still a bit of a downer of a book. I mean, I think like Troy Whitaker is just not a very appealing villain, and looking at like what his master plan is, here in these pages, he's so uninspiring to me, and he's just going to keep people in line. So no Auric, no real action in this issue. To me, it's a 2.5. It's where I've been the last couple issues with it. The only saving grace for me is that, for one, we've had great art. It's been consistent, and we have one more issue.
Yeah.
So we'll see from there.
Yep. And I'm glad that I finally it took me 8 issues to kind of get to my point of where I was, to where it's a plot heavy book with little character and little continuity or no continuity. And so I'm going to be right there with you. 2.5. I do like the art. I do give, whatever the plot does serve as a plot, but it was kind of a predictable plot within what the characters were put there. So I think one issue left of this book, and then we're on to Shadow Man, and we're continuing with Harbinger.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, I remember, like, with the beginning, like the first arc, I was like, how the hell does a European general sneak into Brooklyn with a bunch of a bunch of hard hitting like weaponry? And I was like, okay, that's like as worse as this book could get,
Yeah, it's like there was no thought of the Patriot Act at all. Right? It's just not going to happen, right? Like,
it was just such a weird thing, because I think back in those days it was just like, I don't dislike the book. I'm kind of on the fence, but things still kind of make sense to me. Like it was a decent first issue, but then like it's just, I feel like after the break it just hasn't been very good, but. Yeah. I also felt like the writing was kind of on the wall. Like, you knew something had to wrap up. So we'll see what the ending's like. I mean, who knows? Maybe the ending blows us all away.
Oh man, yeah. I'm not signing up for that. I mean, you know what that would actually be? That would be a huge. It would happen, right? Like, yeah. I would be mind blown, but it would have to do some amazing stuff there.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's move on to Harbinger 2.
let's move on to Harbinger #2, and well, what we normally do again. If you haven't read it, make sure you read it because it's spoiler alert. So on this one, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing with words, Robbie Rodriguez with art, Rico Renzi with colors, Hassan Ostam Alou with letters, covers are Robbie Rodriguez, Nick Varela, and Damian Scott, with Audrey Meeker, assistant editor, Lisa Hawkins, and Heather Antos is considered the senior editors on this one. Yeah. Kind of back forward, as you look at the first issue with Harbinger 1, and all of the covers and stuff had this new character design. And the only kind of thing I don't like is that we didn't actually see that character design in the book. And I felt like that probably should have been saved until it was introduced to the book, just to kind of have a cooler reveal of it. And it kind of basically, this book here introduced why all of a sudden Pete Stanchek is wearing a mask and wearing a costume, and now he's kind of going as superhero to that degree because the warning, right? So another word of the Harbinger, the warning, is out looking for him, and so is like everybody really in his Sayat city that he lives in. So
yeah, I thought like this issue didn't have a ton going on as no, let me take that back. This one did have like a ton going on, I thought. And I was kind of glad, it was a nice refresh from where I thought Exo Manowar was. Because I mean, like, I feel like if you were to pick up either of these books, like if you'd never read a Valiant book, you're like, oh, I'm gonna read Exo 8 and Harbinger 2, you'd probably be like, what the hell is Exo Manowar? But like you would be like, this book's kind of awesome. So I mean, like we do see the warning. We see the characters that make up the super team. And they're pretty interesting, and they've got like a pretty cool power set. Pete totally fights it, takes it to him, and I thought it was really cool, like there's some cool characters in it. But basically, like these the Psyops that Pete is surrounding himself with, they're almost like ghettoized. They're trapped in like one little spot, and the police come looking for Pete. Someone goes out there to try to be like, Pete's not here. And then Pete has to see this person kind of getting, the police going after this person. So like he comes out of the shadows and takes the fight to him, and this issue felt kind of, it would have felt like weirdly, it would have been a weird book if this would have came out last year. I think if you would have looked at like the news, like sometimes when you're trying to escape reality, you're like, I'm going to read comics. I feel like a lot of that would have came right back at you pretty fast. A year past some of those things, looking at the events of this book, it was a little bit different, But I do want to say one thing real quick before we get too deep into it, before I even forget about this. The colorist on this book, who I'm not very familiar with at all, I thought they did an incredible job with the colors.
Agreed.
I mean, it is just such a vibrant book. In the past, we've talked so much about the strength of a good colorist. We're big fans of good coloring on this podcast, as Eric would say. And I do think like this issue, I mean, like you can just see like what a good colorist can really contribute to a comic. The art is phenomenal, I think. I love the look of it, but the colors really take it up another notch.
They sure do. They definitely popped. And Robbie Rodriguez's line work is phenomenal. And I did like that they posted that these the pencils to the inks to the colors to the letters in that splash page was really, really awesome. So I really like the setting that's placed here as far as art is concerned. I like kind of just the angles that are used, the cinematography to a degree that's used was phenomenal. And you know what? There was one thing, I don't know if I have an image of it, but when the police are there and they're looking, and they basically kind of have Pete, Pete kind of cornered, and they ask to go back to Dysart Street. Did you catch
Yeah.
that? I thought that was cool. There's a nod to continuity. That's things that us geeks like. Even though it's like not necessarily continuity, that's a nod to Joshua Dysart.
The
clearly.
nod to the past, though, to the
Right.
Valiant past, you know? And you know what the thing is, what that was nice about it is it wasn't like, oh, go to like Dysart Street and then turn it like Simon's Boulevard and then go up the third level of like Shonda Towers or something like that. You know, it wasn't like I feel like Marvel when they do it. By the time you read all the references, you're just like, I don't care anymore. Like it was cool at first, like just give me one. And I thought it was handled perfectly here. Josh obviously is such a big deal with Harbinger. His name's going to be attached forever. So a nice little nod.
And that's what I like about Colin and the creators here is that they really they said a lot that they loved the 2012. That was one of their favorite Valiant books was this. So I dig that about the guys. That was something that they were super into, and so I applaud that. You know, and then I like this story of I forget the character's name who comes out and he's spoken, and Pete's saying that he reminds him a lot of himself, and he gets taken kind of by the police in the warning, and Pete's out to kind of like save the day, be a lot cooler minded, you know, really trying to better himself, really scared of his power, really to a degree, but more control is what it feels like. That this is where Pete's gaining control. It's really Pete's rendition, you know, his. You know, just kind of just turning a new leaf, kind of, you know, really redeeming himself. And
young ago.
Yeah, young ago.
What was his name?
Young ago. And then Cece seems to be like a pretty interesting character too. She throws in like you are really a stranger to me, to be honest, like chill out. Like it was kind of interesting, like to the first issue, it was like, oh man, she's awfully friendly with this person right away and welcoming Pete in. But it kind of, you know, lets it know to where that's at. And I feel like the characters so far it's at a piece where it's playing well. I liked issue 1, and so far, like issue number 2 was an issue that definitely didn't, you know, knock off the momentum that 1 gave us. And it sets us up to have the in pages Pete in the new costume in the next issue. So revealed in pages, in panel, we're gonna get the new costume likely in issue 3.
Yeah, and you know, I feel like there was a tagline that we talked about with the last issue where it was like, this was like the punk rock Akira.
Yeah.
And I do still feel like it has that kind of vibe to it, you know, like it does seem to have something really special kind of going on with it, you know. That's a little bit different, a little bit wild, a little bit crazier than we would normally see.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, it's weird because, like, I think with like the way the books have been going, like I loved Shadow Man, I didn't love X of Manowar, and I liked the last Bloodshot series, but I didn't like love the end of it really, you know.
Yeah.
So I think when they announced this, I was just like, oh man, Pete in a costume, and I don't know how I feel about it. But I love like these character designs that are in one of the panels. I really like the suit. You know, it's not too over the top. You know, it just looks like it serves more of a purpose of just hiding his like face, like half of his face at least, you know, than it does really like say like I'm a full-fledged superhero.
Right. It's more like I'm going to be incognito, and you wouldn't expect this from me being Pete.
Yeah,
you know, trying to do the things that I'm going to end up doing. Yeah, I totally, I'm on board. Everything you just said with all of those, you know, it's, you know, with the new books that are coming out in January, I'm going to be kind of happy with those 2, right? Harbinger so far, and then the Shadow Man number 5. They're kind of books that I'm both excited for. So
yeah,
that's what you need, especially if you're only doing 2 books a month. You need to make sure you're hitting. You're right. You need, you know, you can't just get these singles with only 2 books a month. You do need to hit, you know, at least doubles, right? And you can't just be going for a base percentage when you only got 2 books. You got to play a little bit more. So.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the baseball analogy before I start throwing in stuff about like the shift and then like, you know, ground rule double here and there and no, but yeah, I mean, like this book's awesome, and I love the art. I love the storytelling. I always feel like with dual creative teams where you have like two writers, or who's doing plot, who's doing dialogue, is it both? I don't know. But I mean, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, I think they're doing an awesome job on this book. Like I think like we've seen like what can happen when you don't do it right already. We have Harbinger Renegade. There's 9 issues of that if you want to get disappointed.
Right.
Like what Harbinger is. I think this was the way to go. Totally.
Yep.
It's so far removed from what happened before, while still saying like, hey, that happened. That's part of the storytelling, but we have more to go. We're not just going to rehash it a little bit, so.
Right. I think that's good too, because there's, like you said, there's lots to go where you could slowly add in some of the renegades, right? You could slowly add in Torque reaching out. I know you love Torque, and Torque needs his own individual series. But it could have Faith come in, and like really, I think that's what would make this fun. Is if you were to add up more books, get more books in, and you have Faith reach out to Pete and come back and then lead into a new Faith book, right? It's really making it work to where it doesn't all have to live in a Harbinger book. I do think a Torque and a Chris Hathaway have to live in a Harbinger book, but not necessarily like a Faith book.
Yeah. And one thing I like from the comments, like Todd saying like, they're trying to let Pete grow up. And I totally agree. Like, that's what they kind of need, because I feel like we thought that's what we would get with Renegades, when like you would see those images of like Pete hanging out by Saturn, just like kind of like in meditation, in a meditational pose. And it's like, what's going to happen? He's going to be this character who's going to have such control of his abilities. He's going to come back and he's going to right all these wrongs. And it didn't really go that way, and he seems so much more vulnerable than he was before. And so I just think like, if they can do it, if you can, especially like with who knows what the future of these books are, where it's like, are we going to have like, 8 issues, 12 issues? What are we going to get? I always hope that it's just like we get the best of editions of these characters. I think with the way Shadow Man wrapped up a couple years ago, it made it so Cullen Bunn's run could be as good as it is right now. And I feel like they're removing that baggage right now on Pete right now. So that, if they keep going forward, it's great, because then there's not those limitations. There's not those hangups. If the book does have to get shelved, someone can come back to this and they don't have to sit there and like fix the character. So I just think like they're totally going in the right direction with Pete, and I'm just enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, and then I'm interested really in learning more about Cece, right? Learning more about this Sayat city. I think it opens up a new door in a way where it works and could allow for, Harbinger to breathe. When I think of this Sayat city a lot, though, living here in Seattle, as the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone that they called the CHOP back after the George Floyd events happened in Seattle, where they kind of basically kicked out the police and had their own, martial law little area. That's kind of what I see here with Sayat City. I see a little bit of this kind of using of art imitating the world, right? And there's things there that are parallel for sure. And I hope that we don't get heavy-handed into that, but I hope that we get to where it speaks, truth to what works within the Valiant universe in a way that's not heavy-handed. And still lets us enjoy art, but also, it may have a plot story to it as well. But yeah, it's kind of what I see. But I see like there could be a lot of options in a place for a cool hero to kind of come from it. And I'm glad we get to kind of see it be Pete. So
yeah. So as far as score goes, I mean, like there's so much of me where I'm like, oh, it's like, probably like a 4.25. It's still really good. But yeah, I'm about, that's where I'm at, I think, with it right now, 4.25, but like, I'm just really happy with this book. I'm glad that we have like a good Harbinger book again, I'm glad that this is just my opinion. Mm-hmm. I'm just glad that we were able to I feel like successfully move past what Dysart did. We're not just like, he's the only one who could do something with these characters. Someone else could do it too.
Yep. gonna say spoilers are done, Don. But yeah, I think this might be one of the few times, but I'm right there with you. Exact same scores for both books this week. 4.25. I said I still like the momentum of one and where we're going with this to keep it going. Harbinger to me is one of the core pieces of the Valiant universe that we have to keep going. It was off, put away for a while. Same thing with Archer and Armstrong. But it's one of the pillars, and it needs to be there because it adds a lot of potential with the stories. And if you're looking as a universe, it's a large piece to it, and there's a lot going on to it to have it just kind of be sitting out and everything else kind of running amok. So yeah, 4.25 and good stories to be had.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're like in a good spot with the books right now, and with EXO is going to be dropping off pretty soon, and then we got this new year of Valiant, and I'm looking forward to this kind of like a little rebirth of the characters, So I'm curious to see what the publishing is going to be like. Is it how they're going to do this? If they're going to still try and just only do a couple books a month, if they're going to grow the line, but. Man, I feel like it's kind of easy to have a bit of a positive attitude about the books. I mean, I know I love Shadow Man from Cullen Bunn. Mm-hmm. So I mean, for me, I feel like that's going to continue. And from that teaser image that showed like the characters in the universe that we're going to start seeing books from, I think it's easy to get excited. It's got a lot of those core characters that we associate with Valiant, and we're going to see them.
Yeah. So. Well, and then, I think Scott puts in there he wants to see an A&A graphic novel. We have Eternal Warrior graphic novel on Kickstarter. That's not going to be till the end of next year. So that's one thing. But
and they hit a $55,000 goal on that, I believe. So there should be like tons of extra pages to the book. Everybody who took part, I think it's like digital copies of everything that from the previous minis.
Yep.
Jay came in with right back. I totally agree.
I totally want to see what Dan Abnett still has for it. There's a lot to be done there. And that was a shame that sales weren't way better with that book. Because Rye from Matt Kent, coming into it to where it ended the last issue with Dan Abnett was great. That Rye was on pre-orders recently for a future hardcover that's going to include Fallen World. But I wish there was way more there because I love I love the character Rai, and then I'm liking Raijin too. Like there's a lot to be had there. So
yeah, I totally agree. So should we give some things away?
Or should we is the question. Give me one little second, and I'm gonna get us in here. All right.
Scott Bloom's like, I would totally back a A&A Kickstarter. And I'm like, you know what? I would back just about any Kickstarter at this point. I would just
any Valiant. Well,
yeah. Because like the thing is, like, I know I mentioned this before. It's like when I started having extra money, like I've been buying other books, that haven't been associated with Valiant. It's been kind of nice, because I've been getting caught back up on some books I used to collect a lot, but. Yep. My thing is I don't want to collect a bunch of things anymore. I just want to collect. I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I just want to collect like maybe at the most a dozen books.
Yeah.
And be good.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I want to read 12 brand new books a month.
And too many people I've talked to is what got them into Valiant was that it was 5 or 6 books and they could get enough comics, but yet not feel overwhelmed, right? And not be like caught in Marvel, caught in DC, where you want this shared continuity, but you have to buy 60 books just to stay involved.
Yeah. I remember the days of buying like 30, 40 books a month, and I was like, I knew everything about going on with Marvel and DC, and I grew up a Marvel fan, and I always felt like I just knew everything about the universe. Everything that was going on, I was like the person my friends would go to, like when they had questions about stuff.
Yep.
And it's like, God, you have to buy like so much stuff to even know. And that's not even including like going to the library and stuff that you can't afford to buy. It's not, or digital sales and things like that, So it's just like Valiant always made it easy. I hope we get back to a day where it's like 6 books a month. I used to remember being like, I wish we had 10. I wish we had 12. I'll be happy when we get back to 6. And you know what? That's enough. Just to know, like, that's all I need to just keep up with like a little pocket universe that keeps me super happy. I love collecting the books. I love collecting the characters. Conventions I go to always seem to have a ton of people who work for Valiant. So like I love collecting the signatures on books. It's a fun universe just to read and collect, I think.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So I'm going to put this up here, and hopefully if you don't see your name rotating around here, let me know. We got Todd, we got Scott, we got Jay Kingman, we got David, we got Tim, we got Sean, we got Don, we got John. So if anybody else is missing there, let us know so we can put your name in this wheel of names here to rotate around and run from there. So
all right, so what do we want to do first?
Let's go ahead and do Eric. Let's do whoever's going to get it from Eric first. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
Get it going. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your name is not in there, it's not in there. Maybe you can get in the next 2. But let's go ahead and click to spin. Boom. Who's the winner? Let's see. Tim, I'm happy you
Facebook.
Put your name in on there on Facebook, Tim. So you got that. We'll have that connected. So you just got a middle cover of a little bit of a Valiant Harbinger middle cover.
All right.
We're gonna do a next one. You want this one? Yours or mine? Yours or mine? Doesn't matter.
Let's do mine.
Let's do this. Another middle cover. Next one will be the big overall bag. So let's see. Boom. Jake.
Oh, okay. Easy. That's an easy one for me. Me and Jake talk. So congrats. I'll get your address and we'll get that taken care of.
Cool. And next will be a little bit. Here's the next one that's going to be a grab bag. Let's do it and see what we got. 1 of 6 chance to win. And dude, there you go, Sean. You get to win, Sean. Congratulations. So shoot me a Facebook message, Jeff. Shoot us all a message if you're on there with the Facebook group. Just give us a DM, and we will get that stuff with your address and get that out to you as soon as we can. Boom.
Yeah. I guess since we're wrapping this one up, I don't think we're going to end up doing another episode this year. What do you think?
Dude, I'm trying to think. What do we have coming? Like, that's where. Yeah. What's around the corner? Let me look at the Valiant calendar here.
Because these episodes have been a lot more fun when we do a couple of issues, and
it's a little better than when it's
a little bit more meat, and so like.
Yeah, because like next week, or what do we have? We have next week we have XO number 9, and then Harbinger number 3 is on the 22nd, so just before Christmas.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a rough time. I feel like for guys like me and Hoosier who have little ones in our lives, and it's sometimes a little hard to.
Maybe we try to do one the first week of January. That might be good. Let's look at about the first week of January. We'll try to get the December books out. And then maybe we'll get one in the last week of January too, with the Shadow Man number 5 and Harbinger number 4. So we'll look at something like that. Go from there.
One thing I want to say real quick before we end. It took us 5 years. We got 200 episodes in. And if even just having like one person show up, like it's made it like a world of difference. I love doing these live episodes. We'll see what we can do, and as long as we have books to talk about, Hoosier and I are going to keep chugging along with these things, and the reason I wanted to even give away my metal book as much as it meant to me, it's just that I always am very appreciative of the opportunity that I have to speak my mind about comics. And we live in a world where like it's a little easier to do that, like it's pretty easy to do a podcast, I guess, But I wanted to say a big thanks to everyone who listens, whether you listen later after these are recorded, or people who come in and show up and chat with us. I mean, it's amazing, And I want to say real quick before we wrap up, it's almost in a year. A big thanks to Hoosier, who I mean, he's made this thing look a lot better, than what Eric and I were capable of doing. I'm really like the lowest common denominator on these episodes. I don't really offer a whole lot other than like an opinion. But,
you're the pig destroyer. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're the pig destroyer. It's on your
show. Big thanks to him. Big thanks to Eric. I mean, it's we're in that mood of like reminiscing. And 5 years ago, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago at all. So hopefully we just do this for another 5 years. Who knows what the future holds. But thank you everyone who watches, who chats with us, the friends we've made because of this, and hopefully in 2022 we can make the new normal a little bit more regular normal.
Yeah.
Get back to doing some more giveaways and some more interviews and the kind of content that you guys actually deserve, not just what we can give you, but what we feel you deserve. So thanks.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. As long as there's I'm going to I'll go a step further. As long as there's quality books coming out, I know there first I thought second guessing of, kind of, okay, let's bow out. This Harbinger really was good. What I've had with Shadow Man recently was good. I'm actually up for another run of Ninjak, but with that change that's coming on Ninjak is going to be well welcomed.
Yeah.
I thought the story and the plot there was pretty good. And so there's that. And so I'd say as long as there's good quality books still coming, that doesn't try to go outside and it feeds to the fan base. I think we do need to make sure that we're feeding, that Valiant feeds to the fan base that's here. These people that I'm seeing in the chat, you all here, are people that have been around with Valiant the whole time. There's not, sadly, it might just be that we suck, which might be the case, but there's not new names here. Their names I know. Their names, with Don, Scott, Todd, John. You're all people, Jake. You're all people that I've known for a while, and 2012 Valiant folks, and you got to feed to this fan base, and these are the ones that are coming here. So, you all have been awesome, and I think that we're a specific group of fans, and if you kind of come towards us, we're going to be your biggest cheerleaders, and you got to make sure that we're getting some good stuff here. So we got some great stuff rocking. Yeah. So I hope that continues, and I hope 2012 does or 2022 does a good 10 years of this new rendition and 30 years total since 92 of the first original Valiant comic coming out, and we kind of move from there.
Yep. Hey, real quick, before we wrap this up, I also want to say a huge thanks to Valiant.
Yep.
To Greg and to Danny and, guys that aren't even there anymore, like Matthew Klein and Emily Hecht.
Past, present, yeah.
Yeah, Dinesh and Hunter and just everybody there, we've had so many people who have helped this podcast out.
And I got to see a couple of them this last weekend. Robert Myers over at
Robert Myers, another person, who
support him with his Rick and Morty with James Asmus right now. Support those folks. I got to see Alex Ray, who was with Valiant for a long time as well.
Yeah.
So super, super awesome things that are coming, and hopefully we get to see more. So, and thanks so much for all of them. So,
yeah.
I don't know if there's much more. Like, you all, thank you.
Yeah. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Give yourself a group hug. Awesome, dude. And Josh, thank you. Glad to be on. Glad to be rocking and rolling, talking about Valiant Comics. And, and we're on for.
And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to whatever your thing is, whatever your boat is, go float it,
That's it. And I always say, just remember, you're special. You're special. At least that's what your mom told you.
Yep.
So.